we have a number of questions usually from the men,
Hmm.
as to be expected with the kilt end of things. But what do Scottish brides usually wear, and what is traditional for them?
That's a really good question.
Sure.
It is more prone to the vagaries of fashion, as any wedding would be. I mean, that's why you have wedding magazines out there, is because certain looks are in or out depending on what year, what decade it is.
What country?
What country exactly. We tend to think in terms of the more traditional stuff. Obviously, whatever spin you put on things is going to be up to you. But the very most conservative, simple thing would be all you really need is a sash. Um, Sashes, I think, in some ways became a part of women's highland dress because they could go with almost anything. You just kind of throw it on top,
It's
and
easy.
done. You've
It's a low
officially
bar.
you've officially bowed to tradition, and you've shown your heritage right there. Done. Um, how you attach the sash, as you pointed out before, can vary depending on the shape of the gown and all that kind of thing. Other things that'll happen is using the tartan uh, as other accents in the outfit or in the accoutrement, like wrapping some tartan around the bouquet. Rosettes is an easy way to put some tartan onto some of the gal's outfits,
You can have, it's not really seen, but you can have as tartan garters.
or maybe making the entire gown out of tartan. If you're doing a more themed wedding, that's more likely. Like if you're doing a medieval wedding or Outlander wedding, and you do the Arisade kind of look, you've got tartan all over the place there. Some bridal gowns have been made using silk tartan incorporated into the outfit. It can be very simple or very complex. The benchmark for traditional women's Highland garb is usually a tartan skirt, a white blouse, and a sash. And if you're doing a very low key wedding, but you want to have a traditional feel to it, for instance, like the tweed weddings we're talking about, that would be a way to go. It's not really super dressy, but it is considered formal to formal ish. It is considered a standard uniform, if you will. So,
Yeah, it also depends on, it's not too many brides. Well, shouldn't say that. I don't know. When I think of a wedding, I always think of bride in a gown or something,
yeah.
like that, whether it be, huge train or not, but generally white or cream or that kind of thing, with decoration.
Mhm.
The yes, you're 100% on it. The sash is the easy low bar.
Yeah.
Another one is a shawl. You can wear a shawl, just basically wrap it. Think of it as a long rectangle. Wrap it around your back and drape it over your forearms and just kind of carry it like that. The sash, typically worn across and then put affixed with a brooch or a small brooch, however you want to say it, a small pin on the one hip, so kind of crossed near the bottom. Another way to do it, if you're the front of your gown has a lot of beading or work on it that you don't want to just cover up, you can actually basically fold the sash in half lengthwise and kind of pin it like a little kind of rosette style, or pinch it here at the shoulder and pin it to the front, so it just hangs down the back, but it doesn't interfere with everything else going on in the front.
Yeah. The other cool thing about sashes, because of their simplicity and efficiency, is that you don't have to wear it the whole time, and you can even use it as part of the ceremony. A lot of times people will do a ceremony where, as being brought into your husband's family, he drapes the sash over you, so it's like you're taking his tartan, and it's a symbolic gesture. Occasionally, sashes will be used for things like a vague kind of a hand fastening, not really tying a knot in it, but just kind of draping. Or you wear the sash of your family, as representing your family, and then he's got his tartan, so you have two tartans in the ceremony. There's a lot of things you can play with it. It's very, very simple. Have fun with it.
On the point about yes, the symbolism, this is kind of where we get into the symbolism a little bit. You can wear, if you as a woman, if you have your own Scottish lineage and you want to have your own tartan, then you can, there's nothing wrong with you wearing yours and the bridesmaids wearing yours. If you are not, or if you want to show the symbolism of taking his clan, taking his everything that is him, then you're right. Having him once you're either announced as husband and wife, or once you do the vows, or somewhere in there, have him actually come over and put a sash around you and leave it there for the rest of the ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that, here's a little tip: affix the brooch at the lower, or on, at the side, and leave it on the sash and then basically
Yeah.
do a dry run. Put it on, put it where you want it, and then take it off with the brooch attached and hand it back to him and let him leave it up at the altar. Then when it's time, all he has to do is put it over your neck and boom, done, sorted.
Mm-hmm.
What you don't want to have happen is do that and not have him sitting there fumbling with the pin for a minute and a half. And it really drags down the ceremony and the time of the ceremony. You just want to be able to put it on, show the symbolism, and move on.
Yeah. Very often that is something that in weddings the family of the groom may do. Like the father and mother of the groom might come in at some point in the ceremony and put the sash on, saying, "You're our daughter now, and thank you for joining us in our family."
I didn't
I've
think
seen
about that.
happen. Oh yeah. Oh
I kind of like that almost more than the husband, because the father of the bride gets to walk her down the aisle and give her away, and to the man kind of thing. Weird but true. And they shake hands or whatever happens, and then he sits down. But the father of the groom doesn't, or the mother of the groom doesn't really get to do too much during the ceremony.
Yeah,
that would be a cool way to kind of balance out the two sides.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's make that a thing. Yes, that's traditionally done. Everyone should do that now.
Yeah.
If you're watching this video, do that.
We are kind of lucky doing the Celtic heritage thing in that there's so many different options you can do for a wedding than a lot of people ever even think about. People go to magazines and websites and stuff and just find rituals and customs and things which were kind of invented out of whole cloth, just to make a wedding more fun, as opposed to what they were raised with a typical American wedding. But with a Celtic heritage, you have a lot of these traditions kind of built in or easy to to fold on. So it's actually, I think that's why a lot of these things started. A lot of people have customs in their weddings which actually started in the UK, started in Ireland or Scotland or other places, because they were such a good idea. They migrated over, but people don't realize it goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. So you're closer to the source for a lot of the fun stuff than you might realize.